All right, Richard, thank you very much for that update. Well, we'll bring in Dr. Malik. He's joining us here in the studio in Doha. He's the professor of medicine at the Cornell Medical College here in Qatar. Thank you very much for being with us. I'm sure you're watching very closely what's happening in India, and now we're getting reports that the latest death toll is more than 1,000. What do you make of that heat wave? And also tell us what the primary reason for those deaths are.
Okay, so this is actually not a first-time event. It occurs pretty much every year. This time, the death toll has obviously gone in excess of 1,000. Previously, it's been 500 to 600. And this is actually a normal phenomenon. It's when the body is not able to cool down adequately when the temperatures rise, particularly when you've got high humidity. And so it's not particular to India, actually. Anywhere in the US, it can occur as well. And so the major manifestations are that the person will become dehydrated and will develop something called heat stroke. And that's a little bit of a misdefinition almost, because stroke immediately people think of as something where you have a blocked vessel and you have damage to the brain. In the sense, or in terms of heat stroke, this is essentially when body temperatures rise above 40 degrees. The consequence of that is that the normal systems, enzyme systems in all cells, particularly the cells of the most active organs, which is the brain, the heart, the lungs and the kidneys, then start to fail.
Right. Before people get to dehydration and what you're referring to as heat strokes, are there any early warning signs or symptoms that people should watch out for?
Okay, so sure. So particularly the elderly who are already on medications that may exacerbate things, people who've got diabetes, people who've got blood pressure, all these people will have a natural response, which is, so what happens when you get hypothermia? Well, the body naturally responds by trying to cool down. And it cools down principally by two major mechanisms, which is sweating and actually what we call vasodilation, which is where the blood vessels in the skin, and particularly on the core of the body, open up and you get dissipation of heat. And so, in short, when these mechanisms, they still continue to work, but they're actually overwhelmed by the heat outside in the environment.
Right.
And so the core body temperature goes up to 40 degrees. So the person themselves initially will feel they're sweating a lot. They may well be what we call tachycardic, which is where the pulse races, tachypneic, which is where the respiratory rate goes up.
Right.
So there are actually warning signs, and the patient will be flushed. Why are they flushed? Because the blood vessels are opened up and they're trying to lose this heat.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. Dr. Malik joining us here in the studio.